So lecturing men on what they should appreciate about women is just displaying the type of behavior that you don't quite understand what you should appreciate about a man yourself. There's so much abundance a woman could have on her own. It's awesome, seriously. The world we live today, it's awesome, and men have built it. I've been seeing a lot of videos about how women are continuously judging men for their height, and not only for their height, but that's what I would like to focus on today, particularly the demands that women have for men. And if you're familiar with the type of content I do, perhaps you already checked the previous video I did about Tommy Lahren, how men are trash and all the men are gone, and so on and so forth. And mostly the women that they're talking about, that all the good men are gone, are the ones that they've already had their fun, like they say. And something similar, like, I basically tried all the men and now I'm left with none. I'm not sure who I was listening recently, but I was listening to someone that I think she's a relationship therapist or something like that, and she said the first thing when couples come to therapy, they want to fix the others. So that's the attitude when people come to therapy with their partner. They just can't wait to fix their partner, right? And since I'm myself guilty of being not an attractive partner and a person in life, I figure in order to change yourself, you kind of need to understand why is it that you're reacting that way, or what is it that your partner or the opposite gender reacts in that particular way. Basically, instead of accusing people and instead of demanding that your life will get better, I think getting curious about why your life sucks, it's more of a, let's say, the right way to go in order to accomplish the life you want to have around. Because what we fail to understand and this goes like as humans in general, the reason we are displeased at this point in time, if we are displeased where we are in life, it's not because someone else. And granted, depending on circumstances, people are gonna say that, they've been brought up in a different way, and some people have had more fortune and more luck than others, and so on and so forth. We all know all that narrative. However, even though that's true, that still, it's used as an excuse rather than a solution. So back to the demanding of women nowadays, and I would like to make it clear, if I haven't made it before, I'm not focusing on women's flaws because I want to get males' attention, even though obviously I like attention because I'm a woman, so all women like attention. But that's not the point. And also, equally, I'm not creating this type of content in order to point out to women how crap they are and point back to me as if I'm, I don't know, a unicorn, because I'm not. So yeah, if that will make you more understand and comprehend why I'm doing this, it's because I've lived through it. Obviously, I can't talk about something that I don't have any knowledge about. So since you understand that I'm as flawed as every one of these women that you're gonna see on my channel, or you had bad experience with or good experience with, I'm the same like them. I am potentially pathetic. I am also equally potentially admirable. So yeah. Even though Tommy Lahren happened like 8 months ago, Tommy Lahren is in every one of us. And at one point in time, we all think we feel entitled. We are kind of, at least in the West, I don't know, we are brought up with this kind of entitlement way of being, and we think that the world owns us and we should have that. And maybe because there's so much abundance already, we've been born in an abundant world, and thus we think we're entitled to anything. And when we demand value from men, I wonder if we really understand what value means, and also why it matters and how it's that significant. If we remember how Tommy used to behave when she demanded all that stuff, to having paid attention to someone that demands that type of value, because usually people that they're valuable, they're not going to go out there and make so much fuss about demanding to be valued in return and or to receive value from someone else. So if it's something that I really learned from my experience as a human, as a person, or as a woman, call it however you want, is that every time I was embittered with the world, how I said it, if I was embittered and I was really angry and I felt that I needed to rage against someone else, I noticed that I usually used to talk about myself. So like I said, her behavior and this type of behavior, so I'm not accusing her, I don't want to accuse her of anything, but this type of behavior shows that we don't get it ourselves. We don't quite understand what value means. So lecturing men on what they should appreciate about women is just displaying the type of behavior that you don't quite understand what you should appreciate about a man yourself, if that makes any sense. So back to the height thing. So yeah, basically women are looking always for a taller partner because I think ultimately, deep down in our DNA is just you want to be safe and you want to be you and your offspring's kept safe, and it's absolutely a normal thing. It comes from our evolutionary behavior. However, what I think this doesn't add up, because I understand that our bodies haven't evolved since Homo sapiens, but I think what has changed within us, it's our awareness. So even though our sexual urges haven't changed, our awareness has expanded, and I think we are more knowledgeable and more aware of ourselves and of the world. This is when hypocrisy comes into play, that the majority of women, or most women, they're too demanding, right? And like I said, that's really natural, because when you think back, let's say when we used to live in caves, if women would have been content with just a cave and a fire, because we all know that men could happily live in one cave, they could survive in one cave with only hunting and a fire, and that's it. They don't need glitter, they don't need nail varnish, they don't need buildings colorful and so on and so forth. So we know that. Can you imagine how the world would be today if women wouldn't demand so much of men from the beginning? I think what we fail to do, the same with modern feminism today, we fail because we behave the same like we would have lived in the same time like 100,000 years ago, and that doesn't make any sense anymore. I think it's good to understand that it's natural that women demand from men, but since awareness came into our play at this point in time, once an organism has awareness, it can be held accountable and responsible for their choices. And still wanting to demand from men, you always gonna have that because it's built within your body in the end. But what I'm saying, I think how we could make this more pleasant for the other person and for men, and also ultimately for ourselves, is getting curious about why are we reacting like that, and analyze the situation we're in, where we are in life, what have we done with our youth, or what are we going to do with our youth. Basically analyze your situation, like here I am, here where I stand, here are my values. And instead of asking what men could do for me, because thank God you don't need 100% for men to do things for you. You don't depend 100% on them anymore like we used to when we were in the cave. So be grateful for that you can, you can rely on yourself and you can do stuff, and be grateful for the fact that other women have had the courage to stand up for themselves in order for you to have rights today. So instead of protesting that you want more rights, be grateful that you have all the rights you're demanding for. No one has taken you any rights. And that's in the majority of cases. Look, I am aware of the fact that in other parts of the world, situations are different. But there's so much abundance a woman could have on her own. And instead of demanding even more from men, because men have done their job, that's why we live in such a safe world and comfortable world, and It's awesome, seriously. The world we live today, it's awesome, and men have built it. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to feel hurt that the fact, we've played our role in the world, but because we haven't built the world literally, the buildings and streets and sewage and toilets and the worst of them all, and streets and everything, anything you want in this world, the concrete part of the world, men have built it. And I'm truly okay, I am grateful for that. I don't want to boost myself because I should be more grateful. I do take things for granted. But why would you ask even more from them? They've done their job. Here we are, safe with our children. The children can run anywhere and anytime. They're just fine. There's no predators. No one's going to kill us. Right. So instead of demanding from men, could we have the humility to, like I said, analyze who we are, where we stand for, and what could we bring to the table? What could we bring to a man? You can say, well, look, I could bring that, and that, and that. So these are the things I could bring into a relationship, and then find that type of person that would be grateful for those type of things that you want to, that you will bring to the relationship. And be realistic, because perhaps the type of things you are able, or you can be bothered, or you care enough to bring into a relationship, perhaps, or most likely, you're not gonna find the 0.1% of the world of men, because that's not realistic. That possibility is not realistic. Women complain a lot that men can't see the person behind the boobs, and men can't see the person behind, that ass, and men are objectifying women and so on and so forth. But equally, women do the same. Women can't see above the height. Women can't live with a person that has, a not suitable size for their vagina. Size matters for women. So women are objectifying men as much as men objectify women. You can't take that off the table. You can't take that, And if you really can't stand, if you really one of those people that you can't be without a person that's not taller than you and so on and so forth, well, at least you're gonna have to lower your standards in other ways. So he will be tall, but he will definitely not earn the amount of money you dream of. And you're gonna, if you want more money, you're gonna have to do it yourself, because he's not gonna be the person. If you want to, if you want him to earn that amount of money you dream of, perhaps he's gonna be short. What you're gonna do in life? No one wins, even though it seems like that on social media, and we sell ourselves the idea that if I do that on the other thing, I'm gonna win. There's no winning. If you think about it, in the end, we're all rushing to die in one way or another. Since there's no winning, the question is, what is it that you can put up with? Because every person has its own frailties. You can't get rid of human frailties. And some things are more annoying than the others. You can put up with a person that does some things, but you can't put up with a person that does different things. So the question would be, what is it that you can put up with, perhaps for your whole life? I think this is one of the things we should look out when we seek a partner. First, what is it that we can bring to them? And then we're gonna find the person that matches that type of values, so we know what we'd like to receive instead. You can't ask to be with Prince Charming if you are a homeless, toothless addict. That doesn't work. That's why you need to know first who you are, where you stand for, what you like, what you don't like, and with who you could put up with. There is a price to pay for everything in life. So like I said, even though you're gonna be with the tallest handsome man, perhaps he's gonna be not so smart, and perhaps he's not gonna be good in making resources, so you're just gonna have a Ken doll near you. Or you could be with someone that's not so good looking, but he's good with resources, and perhaps he's a really good father. So unless we don't find out what we want from life truly, and we just can't find the type of person we would be joyful around.
I have a lot to offer. I am funny as hell. I mean, really.
If this is what she thinks, that's the best she could bring into a relationship. As far as I'm concerned, I suspect she was just trying to date men that are looking for youth and the beauty she didn't have. So obviously you're not going to find someone to be around, and where are all the good men gone?
I get the typical blonde, big boobs, tattoos. That's how guys kind of see me.
Just because you're not aware of the fact that you're focusing and you're attracting the wrong type of people in your life doesn't mean that all good men are gone. When women are dating and the women want a partner and they are seeking a partner, they already deluded themselves and they already sold themselves an idea, an ideal man that doesn't exist.
You gotta go. See, if you're looking for a guy with all of that,
Yeah.
I don't know that he exists.
No, he's got to exist. You don't
Okay.
think so?
Well,
And obviously, if you are sticking with this ideal, years are passing, we are all mortal, and since you don't find this person, you just end up lonely and you think all the men are gone, but all the good men are not gone. You're just focusing on the wrong people. You're just focusing on an illusion, let's say.
How should I find the right person for me?
Instead of looking outwards and demanding, you demand more from yourself. I know it's this culture right now,
That, accept yourself how you are.
curvy, or
You're beautiful the way you are.
I hate that shit. That doesn't help anyone. No, no. You are potentially beautiful. And I'm not talking physically now, I'm talking the way we are being. That affects a lot our appearance as well. The way we are being in the world, the way we are being with ourselves, it's going to reflect on ourselves. But yeah, I don't know, I think I spoke too much on this. But focus on what's the best thing you have. Because if you don't have beauty, well, you better make sure that you invest in yourself. So you're going to make yourself an asset for the person you're going to live with. I don't know what. What I noticed that some people that they're not really good looking, they're working their ass off in the gym and they look awesome. Yes, it's unfair because some people that are really good looking, they don't have to do anything and they look good, and these people that they're not really good looking, they're just working their ass off and they look good. Guess what? Even though they're not genetically amazing looking, just by their choice and by their way of being, instead of stopping and lamenting
Like, oh my God, I don't look like an Instagram model. What am I gonna do with my life?
they just go up there and they put in the work and they figure out what they're good at, what are their weaknesses, and how can they enhance themselves even more in order to look good. One last point, which I think is really interesting, and I didn't come up with this is a good point from a man. So women are massively underestimating how much being difficult is just blasting your chance as a mate. So I'm gonna repeat that. That was so good. When I heard that, I'm saying like, oh my God, I'm gonna steal this and I'm gonna use it every time I'm feeling I'm gonna go on the scale of crazy bitch. I'm gonna think about this again. Women are massively underestimating how much being difficult is blasting your chances as a mate. Guys will compromise everything else, a lot of everything else. A good looking guy will put up with a plain looking brilliant attitude woman. Think about it. If you're one of those that still holds on to idea that you want to meet and you want to live with Ken, well, figure out, because a lot of pretty women are just, you can use this in your advantage, right? If you spot a guy that you think he's the guy of your dreams, but perhaps you're not as good looking as him, how could you ever be his partner? Well, make sure you build yourself to the person, because I'm sure that a really good looking guy, he's surrounded by really pretty crazy women. So how could you, not so pretty, have this guy? Well, prove that you are worth it. You're worth it. Men do like youth and they're driven to youth, but in the end, when a man has had enough of so much beauty and craziness, he would give He would give anything to have someone not taking his brain out the whole rest of his life. If you're, that type of feminine woman that is caring and with not too much big ego, and he's, she makes him a priority to his life, not social media and not the bullshit, that guy will have you. That's what I'm saying. Instead of demanding, instead of saying
like, oh look, you should be with me because I am already awesome because that's how my mom gave me birth.
that's cheap. Instead of demanding, go out there and fix yourself, girl. Once you change yourself, the whole world changes around you. And it's absolutely awesome. That works so well. If you change yourself, like every time you go anywhere in the world, it's just like people respond to you differently, automatically, like that, just because you change yourself. You change. Okay, that's it, guys. Too much talking. I don't know if this is going to be one video or 2 parts. I don't know why I'm doing this. I think 'cause I'm cold. So yeah, I hope I brought a little bit of value in your life today, and I would really like to meet some women. Someone told me, commented in my videos,
I bet you don't have female friends.
and I asked her if she wanted to be my friend, and she didn't want. So guys, if you know a woman that shares the same values with me, please send her to me. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your patience to listen to my ramble thoughts again. Thank you so much for your humbly words. I swear to God, every one of those comments just helped me so much. So don't underestimate how much some words can impact someone else's life. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're gonna have a great summer. I hope you're not gonna catch any virus, and I hope you're all gonna get your vaccine, and you're gonna see your family, and anyway, all that stuff. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and until next time, see ya. But I noticed that we could anyway. Okay, I think I made a lot of gesture with my arms, and people must be thinking,
Oh, who's that girl? Da, na, 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 na.
okay, that's it, enough, Helen, go home.